I hope everyone is doing well. So, we have some interesting breaking news. First of all, if you could type a one in chat to let me know that you can hear me clearly. So, we have a police. Good morning, org. Good morning. We have a police update on the arrest made back in 1996 on the killing of the rapper Tupac Shakur. So, here is a live update from USA Today.
Department. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. 27 years. 27 years. For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefy D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was arrested this morning by
Amazing. We've
Wyoming
been waiting
PD
for this
Criminal
for a
Apprehension
long
Team,
time, you guys.
and this investigation started on the night of September 7th, 1996. It is far from over. It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today. Several of those detectives that are standing here with us include Detective Cliff Mogg, the lead detective on this case. He is now retired. While I know there's been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department, I'm here to tell you that was simply not the case. It was
It
not
has
the
been
case back
very
then,
important.
and it is not the case today. Our goal at LBMPD has always been to hold those accountable and responsible for Tupac's violent murder accountable. Just like we do for every homicide victim in our city. Every single victim, every life that is lost is important and remains a priority to this police department. As we methodically built this case to move forward with an arrest, it was also important that at the same time, we're building towards a successful prosecution. We work closely with our esteemed district attorney, Steve Wolfson, in his office to ensure that is going to happen. Mr. Davis's own words reinvigorated our case in 2018. I'm going to give you some of those details, and I'm going to introduce to you our homicide lieutenant, Jason Johansson, and he will provide you many of the details on how we got here today.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you everybody for being here today. My name is Jason Johansson, and I'm the homicide lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And my goal here today is
Amazing
to
job.
walk you
Amazing
through
job.
our
It's
investigation
taken a
and
long
what led
time
us
for them
to
to
the
get this
indictment
far.
of Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefy D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. This case has been reviewed by our homicide team and homicide detectives for over 2.5 decades. And ultimately, our persistence in this investigation has paid
Hi,
off.
Kaylee.
Let me walk you through a timeline of events that as we know them right now. Prior to September 7th of 1996, as we all know, Tupac Shakur was a artist who was signed with Death Row Records. And that Death Row Records and its CEO, Marion Suge Knight, were closely affiliated with the Mob Piru criminal street gangs, and that they had an ongoing feud with the Southside Compton Crips. Dwayne Davis was the leader and shot caller of the Southside Compton Crips. And both of these gangs operated out of the Southern California area of Compton. On the night of September 7th of 1996, Tupac Shakur, along with Suge Knight and members of their
Right,
entourage,
Kaylee?
which
That's
include
how long
members
that
of
they have
Mob
been
Piru,
searching
came to Vegas to attend the Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand
and
Garden
working
Arena.
on this.
Members of the Southside Compton Crips, which included Dwayne Davis, along with his nephew Orlando Anderson, were also in attendance at the same event. As both were leaving the fight, members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM. And
I
at
know it
that
sounds
time, they
crazy, but I
began
almost
to
like want to cry with
punch him
joy.
near that elevator bank.
Not even joy. It's like a
I will now
release
show
of
you
like the
hotel security
stress.
footage, as many of you have
So
already
many of
seen,
us
related to this incident.
were
And on this
heartbroken
incident, you will see
over
Tupac
this.
Shakur, who's wearing a shiny satiny shirt, along with Marion Suge Knight, who's a large man in a brown suit punching and kicking
Exactly.
Orlando Anderson.
Exactly, Kaylee.
Following this incident, you'll see hotel security intervene, and then they will leave the area of the fight. Little did anyone know that it is this incident right here that would ultimately lead to the retaliatory shooting and death of Tupac Shakur. Following this incident, Tupac and Suge Knight both left the MGM to make their way to a post-fight party, which was to occur at a local nightclub. At the same time, word had spread amongst members of the
Which at
Southside
that
Comedy
time
Club
was like one
what
of
had
the
occurred inside
first
the MGM.
major casinos
then
coming into
that's
Las
when-
Vegas off of the 15.
Dwayne Davis began to devise a plan to obtain a firearm and retaliate against Suge Knight and Mr. Shakur for what occurred inside the hotel against Mr. Anderson. After Davis obtained a gun, he entered into a white Cadillac along with Terrence Brown, DeAndre Smith, and Orlando Anderson. Based on our investigation, this is where we know they were seated. At some point in time, as they were in the white Cadillac, Mr. Davis took the gun that he had obtained and provided it to the passengers in the rear seat of the vehicle. As they were driving west on Flamingo Road near Koval, they had located the black BMW, which was driven by Suge Knight, and in the passenger seat was Tupac Shakur. And as they turned around, they pulled up near the passenger side of that vehicle and immediately began shooting at Mr. Knight and Mr. Shakur. Following that shooting, the white Cadillac fled the area southbound on Koval. And after officers
They're
arrived
explaining
on
right
scene,
now.
Tupac was later transported to the University Medical Center, where he was treated medically and died approximately 6 days later on September 13th. My homicide section handled this investigation from its onset and for a short amount of time. And within a short amount of time, what we knew was that we were working a gang investigation where our victims, our witnesses, and our suspects were all from Southern California and not local to Las Vegas. Within the first few months of the investigation, our detectives knew most of the information I just briefed you on. However, we never had the necessary evidence to bring this case forward and present it for criminal charges. As time went on, this case had been reviewed multiple times by different investigators assigned to my section, but it wasn't until 2018 that this case was reinvigorated as additional information came to light related to this homicide. Specifically, Dwayne Davis's own admissions to his involvement in this homicide investigation that he provided to numerous different media outlets. In our section, we knew at this time that this was likely our last time to take a run at this case to successfully solve this case and bring forth a criminal charge.
They kind of knew,
at
Kaylee,
that
but
time
I think that they
That
needed
this
to make
case was
sure.
assigned to Cliff Mogg,
And
a detective
I
within my homicide
know
section.
exactly. Sheesh.
And over the last 5 years, my section worked closely.
It's
hand in
been
hand with the Clark
devastating that
County
this has
District
gone on
Attorney's
this
Office
long.
and followed a systematic investigative plan over the last 5 years. We've
Exactly.
conducted countless interviews and corroborated numerous facts
They did.
that were not
So
only
let
consistent
me
with
pause
the
this.
crime.
Nevada is one of those states, especially with their DA, that they are not going to pursue something unless they have a guarantee conviction. They won't even try it. They will hold on to it, period, because they don't want to lose that case. Remember, someone can only be tried once. So, if they didn't have every duck in a row, all their I's dotted, all their T's crossed, they weren't going to attempt it. They wouldn't have. This
crime
is
scene
breaking
on the
news
night
from
of the
USA
incident,
Today
but also
as of
corroborated
today.
and were consistent with the sequence of events
It's
that
crazy.
night. This ultimately led to us procuring a search warrant, which was executed at Mr. Davis's residence in Henderson, Nevada. And
Thank you
following
for
the execution
coming
of
in,
that
you
search
guys. I
warrant,
appreciate it.
close coordination with District
Love to
Attorney's
my little
Office, this case
CB
was
Haley.
presented to the grand jury, which ultimately led to Davis being indicted on charges of murder. Before I hand it off
Amen.
to the District Attorney's Office, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Detective Mogg and all the other detectives that were not only assigned this case and reviewed this case, but all the other detectives from other agencies that assisted us in this investigation. They know who they are, and thank you very much for all the assistance you provided. It does not go unnoticed. And lastly, one of the most important things, in my opinion, is we need to make this be a reminder that the charge of murder does not have a statute of limitations.
No, it
This
doesn't.
agency has been and is
Neither
investigating
does any
solving our
sexual
cold
violent
case
crime.
homicides so that we can bring closure to those families and justice for those victims of
Amen.
homicide. And with that, I will turn it over to the Clark County District Attorney, Steve Wilson.
Exactly, Harley Dad. They only have one shot.
Thank you, Lieutenant Johansson.
Better make it good.
Appreciate it. Good afternoon. I am the Las Vegas, Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson. It has often been said, justice delayed is justice denied. It's a quote we hear often and for many, many years when talking about our legal system, but not in this case. Today, justice will be served in the murder of Tupac Shakur. I'd like to acknowledge the relentless work of the many Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department homicide detectives. We've mentioned Detective Cliff Mogg many times, and we can't mention his name enough. He is the detective, along with his colleagues, that brought this case here today to you. A Clark County grand jury has indicted Dwayne.
You're never
T.
safe from a crime
Davis
like that. If you've
with
committed
one
a crime
count
like
of
that, you're
open
never
murder
going to be safe.
with use of a deadly weapon with a gang enhancement. Davis will appear in court in the next few days or so for a hearing to determine his custody status and to set a jury trial date. This grand jury has been receiving evidence for
He
months.
effed around, Kaylee. He effed around and found out, huh?
Sufficient evidence to justify the filing of this criminal indictment. I've assigned two of my top prosecutors, Mark DiGiacomo and Banu Palal, to prosecute this case. I know a lot of people have been watching and waiting for this day. Tupac Shakur is a music legend, and for a long time, this community and worldwide have been wanting justice for Tupac. Today, we are taking that first step. Tupac was actually quoted as saying, "Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still
I don't know.
alive.
We can find out.
Never surrender." Well, we didn't surrender thanks to the great work of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department under the leadership of Sheriff Kevin McMahill, Lieutenant Johansson, retired Detective Cliff Mogg. I am proud to announce the return of this document. This is the indictment we've been waiting almost 3
No, she
decades
passed on May 2nd,
for.
2016.
It spells out the facts and circumstances
It's
and
sad.
what justifies a Clark County grand jury in returning.
They are
an
together in
indictment.
heaven.
Justice
Oh.
will be served. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
I know, breaks it. Like,
I just
I
like
had
to
tears
say-
in my eyes, Kaylee.
That the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Homicide Section year over year solves over 90% of the homicides that occur in our jurisdiction. You won't find that anywhere else in the United States. For those family members that have lost somebody that we haven't solved that case, I want you to know, just like in this case, we're not going to give up. I also say to you that as we begin, we're going to take a couple of questions. I want you to remember in your questioning that this investigation, subsequent arrest, and now indictment is only the beginning of the process. And we are committed and invested in ensuring a successful prosecution as we move forward. So with that, we'll take any questions that you might have.
Sheriff, have you
Ken?
been, excuse me, Sheriff, thank you. Have you been in touch with the Shakur family, anyone within here today? And if so, can you characterize what they told you?
The family has reached out to my office. I imagine also to Metro. We've been in communication with them. We understand that they are welcoming this news. They are pleased with this news, and they are certainly aware of the return of this indictment.
Do you anticipate them being at court for arraignment of Mr. Davis?
I don't think they'll be at the arraignment. I mean, that's a relatively short hearing, but I know that they'll be involved. I know that they'll want to be apprised of what goes on a frequent basis.
Back.
Can you talk about any of the statements that he made that
Even though they're getting justice, it's not going to take away the pain. It's something that his
I'm not
family's
gonna
had to
talk
live with
about
this
any particular statements,
entire
but
time.
Maybe he can address that.
What I'll say is there's a lot that's going to come out when it comes time for trial, but he provides his own series of statements that are very consistent with the evidence that we have on the scene that we've obtained through our investigation. I'll leave it at that.
Did you identify anything that came from the service of the warrant in July that you didn't know before?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I'll say about the search warrant that we did in July, that we obtained information or evidence during that execution of that search warrant that corroborated information obtained through our investigation. And I'll leave it at that until we go to trial.
Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Lane with Channel 3.
And as much as you guys would love to know what that evidence is, if they don't hold on to that evidence, it could skew the case for when it goes to trial. So I
as I
know it's
stated
hard for us
earlier,
not to want to dig and want to
in this
know
case, the only
every
living
little
suspect
bitty
related
bitten
to this
aspect
investigation
of cases, Dylan Rounds, etc. But the more we do find out, the more it can skew it and help the defense when you don't want them to help the defense. You know what I mean? So it's like it really tugs at the heartstrings,
Yes, well,
especially on
under Nevada
cases that a
law,
lot of you
this
have
is the law
followed
in most
for a
states
long
in this
time.
country. You
It
can be charged with
it's
a crime whether you're directly
it's really,
involved
really
or
hard
whether you're an
to
aider
like
and
keep
abettor.
that in mind that
We
we
have an
don't
aiding
want to
and
know
abetting
too much,
statute, which
because if
provides
we know
if
it, the
you help
defense knows
somebody
it.
commit a crime, you can be equally as guilty. The best example is two
I know,
guys
so am I,
that
Kaylee.
agree to commit a bank robbery. And one of them goes into the bank with a gun and actually commits the robbery. And the other guy is the getaway driver. Never went in the bank.
Oh my
He
gosh.
assisted the guy that went in the bank. So he's equally guilty. That is one of the theories in this case as well.
Last question.
Do investigators believe that Davis was the only person behind the plan to kill Tupac, or was he one of multiple people who came up with this plan?
I think the best way to characterize that is Dwayne Davis was the shot caller for this group of individuals.
Okay,
that committed the
awesome.
crime, and he orchestrated the plan. that
Just
was
send me a
created
message
to commit this
if I don't catch it
Can you say
on
who
my
he was
alerts.
from or who he obtained it from?
We know that he obtained it from a close associate. That a lot of the actual details of who specifically, all that come out at trial, but he obtained it from a close associate.
Thank you for coming.
Lieutenant,
Appreciate it.
Can you say if Mr. Davis has said anything since the Mr. Wilson? Steve?
Oh, oh goodness. That'll be awesome, Kaylee. I'd appreciate it. It's so stressful. Like so many of us have been wanting justice and we're not even related. We're not even close. We were just admirers from afar. And it's so devastating. And I know I'll probably get flagged for this, but I've watched it. Yeah. Well, you have to remember I'm quite a bit older than you. This happened very shortly after my son was born. But I know I'm probably going to get flagged for this. So, but who cares? This is in memory. I'm feeling the same. I feel better like as far as pain wise goes, but it's good to see you, Orgy. I am live. Oh, I'm not camming up today. I just saw this. It was only like maybe a couple hours ago. So I just wanted to touch base on it. And yes, Kaylee, just let me know and I'll be over there, definitely supporting good people. Oh, I was working on it. You have to remember I'm not on all the time, so I'm a little slower. So the Tupac murder, Keith D arrested for his alleged role in the 1996 slaying. And this was from 6 hours ago. David Keith D. Davis was reportedly arrested in Las Vegas on Friday, September 29th morning in connection of the murder of Tupac Shakur, according to the Associated Press. The grand jury in Clark County indicted Davis on one count of murder with the use of a deadly weapon with the intent to promote further or assist a criminal gang. And prosecutors said in court, Davis is the uncle of Shakur's suspected killer, Orlando Anderson, who was fatally shot in a drive-by 2 years after Shakur's death. In July, Las Vegas police searched Davis's home as part of the investigation into Shakur's murder, but didn't offer any details. A warrant obtained by NBC at the time revealed that they looked at the desktops and other electronic storage devices, including thumb drives, CDs, external drives, and studio recordings. The warrant reportedly uncovered a Pokeball USB drive, a black iPhone, 2 iPads, and a purple Toshiba laptop, among other items. Excuse me. The search warrant was served in Henderson, Nevada, and marked as the biggest development in the unsolved homicide in years. Over the years, it appeared as though the Las Vegas Metro Police Department made little progress in solving the case. Keith D. has made several incriminating comments about his role in the murder, and the investigations had their eyes on him for years. So they didn't have any exact evidence. They just, he was alluding to the idea of what had gone on. In 2021, an interview with Baum's first former bodyguard, Reggie Wright Jr., suggested investigators were looking into O'Keefe's involvement and could possibly be taking him to jail. So I'm going to share this.
How do you feel about Biggie coming to LA 6 months after Tupac got killed?
I don't think that was a wise move, period. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know the functioning of what's going on, the in and outs that's going on out here. You know what I'm saying? They could at least call ahead. And then you don't come out here. You know what I'm saying? Like you kill your dog, I kill your cat. You know what I'm saying? That's just what happened, man.
And they was out here promoting Life After Death, and they was out here partying
and everything. They supposed to give the next day. They supposed to give a picnic at Aaron Spelling's house. They're on Mulholland Drive, shit like that.
Right. And you was with Biggie and Puffy the night Biggie got killed, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that whole night and how everything went down.
I think it was Quincy Jones that gave.
And this is where we really need to pay attention to what people are saying, in what context, if you get what I mean. So are they using past tense, present tense? Watch how he moves. And when he's saying something, watch his mannerisms. See if he's itching his eyebrow or, shrugging his shoulders, things like that can depict on what he's telling the truth about and what he's not. So let me rewind that a little bit.
Right. And you was with Biggie and Puffy the night Biggie got killed, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that whole night and how everything went down.
He's moving around.
I think it was Quincy Jones that gave that party.
Right, yeah.
Quincy Jones at the period.
He's itching his nose. Body language, exactly. This dude is straight lying off the rip. We can tell by his mannerisms.
Picture Auto Museum.
Mm-hmm.
He gave it that was a Soul Train at the party.
Right.
And we he gave us like 12 tickets to get in and shit. Well, some of the homies didn't even get to get in. So we get up there
Kitchen again. Yep.
and I go holler at Puff. He like, man, the
Yep.
feds is
Hiding under
here.
his hat.
They've been on our ass ever since we've been in LA, since we got off the plane. So for real, he like, let's just give y'all a few bottles and y'all just go over there
Watch
so
the
y'all
side
won't catch our
blinking.
heat. They've been on our ass. They in this party, matter of fact. I'm like, okay, cool. He gave us 2 bottles. We went over there to the other side. That dude, Ricky Bell. What's his name? Bell, Ricky, from Bell Biv DeVoe.
Right.
What's the dude? The little dark one.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know
Yeah.
his name, but I know who you.
Yeah, he
referring to.
followed us around all night, boy. He smelled that weed and shit. He like, woo, woo. Yeah, Janet
I know.
Jackson,
I
all
wish
them
it had a
bastards was there.
light
Leah,
him so we could
all of them
see
was at that
everything.
was a hell of a party,
His
boy.
feet, everything.
And fire marshals closed it down. Boom. So we all came out and shit. Everybody was waiting on their cars to valet the cars and shit. So Puff and them, Biggie and them got in that first truck. It was in a Suburban, green Suburban. Puff and them was in a blue Suburban. And shit, and once they pulled out, they was telling us meet them at the hotel and
He
bring the
keeps
weed.
doing
and
these
shit.
little fidget
Have
things,
a
like
party.
see him, rubbed his nose.
Party
Yep.
at the hotel. We like, all right, we be up there, Beverly Hilton. So they pulled up out of there. Shit, made that right. My homeboy Wayne came back in there talking about Biggie dead. Like, what? Biggie's dead. Shit, and the police came and they escorted everybody out. Most scenes like that, they lock that shit down. Put yellow tape everywhere and interview everybody. You know what I'm saying?
See how
They
he's
was waving
coming out from
people up
underneath
out of
his
there.
hat? He's lifting his head up a little
Then
bit. Now he's back down.
Sergeant Reynolds, that same crooked ass bitch, Compton police, he pulled over a nephew and talking about y'all kill Biggie too. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. He started all that rumor. Then they was feeding the FBI that bullshit, the people from downtown, Compton police, Suge friends. You know what I'm saying? That shit dirty, man. That was some dirty shit he was doing, you know what I'm saying? You should have never involved the police. If you want to keep it gangster, hood against hood, homie. Don't fucking bring the police, your police friends into this. You know what I'm saying? That's wrong, man.
Hey, do you know Poochie?
Poochie, the one that they supposed to did Biggie.
Yeah.
I heard about it. I read a book about that. I didn't know him. No.
How you feel about Reggie Wright and Mob James saying he was the one behind Biggie though?
The whole city saying that. The whole city saying that.
So I want to backtrack a little. The day
should-
before Biggie got killed, if I'm not mistaken, Biggie and Puffy threw a basketball game, right?
In the
It was
police.
a celebrity basketball game. They didn't throw it.
Itching.
They just participated.
So, for those of you that don't know, what happens when you are anticipating on lying or you're lying, and you can watch a lot of creators do this, those that have what seemingly seem like anger issues when they are addressed. Okay. So, you can see they'll start fidgeting, they get anxious, and that's because all the blood starts rushing to the surface of like your tips of your fingers, your nose, your ears. They start itching. And so they have a tendency to start scratching or rubbing or massaging, things like that, or fidgeting with their ears, their nose, their fingertips, and their toes. I know, right? Exactly.
Oh, okay. Tell
What's
me
that
about that.
What's that little ugly broad name? What's her name? Miss Yelly. That's the first day I met her.
Oh, for real?
She was a little ugly thing back then.
Extremities,
boy. Fat, ugly
phalanges.
motherfucker. Yeah.
Oh man. So tell me about that game, man.
Oh, they just did the basketball game and woo woo woo. And the dude Dash was there. Snoop came over there, shook our
Over
hand.
exaggerating.
He was like pouting like a little bitch. And my little homeboy, he had that thing on. He was like, man, you want me to? I'll noodle his ass if you want me to. I'm like, no, leave that little bitch alone.
So Snoop and Dash was at the game?
Snoop, Dash, Corrupt, the whole little crew. And this little off-brand Crip acting a goddamn fool. I'm like, man, My little homeboy like, man, you big homie, you want me to noodle his ass? I'm like, no, leave that little bitch alone. You know what I'm
Who?
saying? Dad's little bitch. Matter of fact, when I went to prison, he made a song. I kind of felt that. Like, he was talking about us, get back. What was that? Payback, get back, whatever that shit was.
Mhm.
Once I got out of prison, I ran into him at this weed spot. It was a one way in and one way out. Like, man, you don't know who I am?
Very
I'm
good,
like,
Oregon.
no. But man, I'm Keefy D, motherfucker. You're like, oh man, I was tripping, man. I was tripping, man. And the money had me going crazy. Yeah, you sure the fuck was. And he was on our turf. I could have, you know what I'm saying? Could have raped him that day, you know?
Right. So you said Dash was an off-brand Crip. What you mean by that?
Yeah. He from Texas. Man, you know what I'm saying? He ain't from the motherland where the Crips started at. Oh, off-brand ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? And he got nerve to be acting like a little bitch. I could have got him fucked up that day though, because they wanted to get his ass. But I was just like, leave that little bitch alone, you know?
Right. But Snoop, he a real Crip though, right?
Yeah, he from Long Beach.
Okay, so he official, but Dash, he
That's a Texas ass motherfucker. Ain't even Waco or somewhere. Where the motherfucker from?
oh no. I mean,
Yeah,
And I typically
off-brand ass
don't like,
motherfucker.
swearing,
Steady
etc.
making
on
all that
my
noise.
platform,
You
but
don't know, I could have
because
got
this
his
is an
ass wore
interview,
out
I
that
have no
day
control
at
over what
that
he's saying.
basketball
So
game.
please forgive me, and
what was
it's
he doing exactly?
trigger
He
warning.
just said, you know what I'm saying? Man, all that extra shit, you better knock it off, Mr. Tough Guy. Knock it off, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I felt.
And I can understand the
You
anguish
just
that
don't know.
y'all are having.
If
So
there wasn't that many
fix
people
up the
there, he would have got his ass dusted off. Serious. I would have green lighted his motherfucking ass.
So how do you feel about people that say that you was behind Biggie death because Puff Daddy never pays you the $1 million?
No, I wasn't behind it. The police killed Biggie. I was up under the parking garage when Biggie got killed.
let's watch his body
When
language again.
Biggie died, the police killed Biggie. I was up under the parking
He
garage when
shrugged.
Biggie got killed. Killed Biggie. I was up
Watch.
under the parking
See,
garage
he
when
shrugged.
Biggie got killed.
You feel about people that say that you was behind Biggie death because Puff Daddy never pays you the
Watch
$1
right
million?
here.
No, I wasn't behind it. The police killed Biggie. I was up under the parking garage when Biggie got killed. When Biggie died, I was up under the parking garage. We were supposed to go meet them at the Beverly Hilton, go smoke weed and shit. You know, he was the last person to talk to me. When he pulled out, I gave him dap and shit. He pulled out. I was like, we'd be up to the hotel and shit. Boom. Shit, one of my homeboys came back in there. He just killed Biggie. I was like, damn.
Comments going here. Might just take a moment to load up. But again, if you use hashtag KJB on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, WFLA.com, WFLA's app, we can feature your comment on screen. But we know many of you are still filing in. If you're looking for the press conference, we will be having it shortly. We're just waiting for that feed to actually activate. I know that there's shock in our comment section. There's shock elsewhere on social media as well. Let's see if we can get our, let's see here. Let's see if we can get our chat up and running again. I don't know exactly where our chat went, you guys. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's try it now. We'll get it working eventually. But I'll read some comments here in the meantime. Martin Fan for Life says #KJB. The saying is true. The wheels of justice turn slow. People asking others what their favorite Tupac songs are. If you have any favorite songs, I know that people were, as we were getting ready for our live stream, people were sharing that back and forth in our comment section. Of course, Tupac, one of the most iconic rappers of all time, really defined West Coast hip hop in the 90s, of course, before his untimely death. He was so young, you guys. He was in his 20s. Chosen Davis with this comment saying #KJB about time. King Meech says #KJB. This is huge for the Black community. I'm sure that this is news that is especially if you remember where you were, and you were, of course, if you remember that day, that was, of course, an extremely sad day, not just in the entertainment world, but it reverberated, across the country. People who
Sorry
expressed
about that. I
profound
had to take a
sadness
call.
for the loss of Tupac Shakur. Let's get into some of the comments here as well.
So this is WFLA now, and their perspective and their reiteration on what is going on with everything. And I would like to see more videos of that guy. I'm going to look for him to see if I can find him. So just give me 1 second. Just for as as far as body language goes. I know. I'm trying to find some more stuff. What's this one? Vlad TV asks a lot of incriminating questions. Okay. Okay, that's what I pulled up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can see if he has an interview on DJ Vlad's YouTube channel. Is this it? I think this is it. I'm not sure.
So let's talk about what happens next. Based on what the book says, Zip gave you guys a Glock, and you guys tossed in the back seat.
Okay.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
Keefy
We
D.
was just all in the car together. Just
Okay.
say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Right here, it's at the
Yeah.
top. Oh, you can't see it, huh? Sorry. KEE.
So you guys are driving around,
Space D.
and then you hear these girls say, "Tupac, Tupac."
No, we coming up. What's the name?
Fidgeting.
What's that? Flamingo?
He's fidgeting.
Yeah, I think that's Flamingo. We was coming up Flamingo and got to the light. We was going to go drink and smoke some weed, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next?
And we just came and shit. I ain't gonna go into the details like that, you know what I'm saying? But you got it in the book. You done played it, everything else, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, in the book,
Thank you, Orgy.
you said that as you're driving up towards the BMW with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a gun.
It looked like he was reaching. Yeah.
Oh, fidgeting,
Yeah, it did. He was-
Okay.
Yeah.
body shifting.
Did you actually see a gun?
No, shit. Once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started shooting at Tupac and Suge.
Arm flinch.
Lane starts blasting.
No, shit.
Arm
Once
flinch.
he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
Body shifting.
started shooting at Tupac and Suge.
Lane starts blasting. You say Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of
In
the
the
line.
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their
Jumping
car?
in. I seen a bullet going Suge head. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot
Who's this
across
guy?
Reiterated.
Dre.
He leaned over
Be
on
convincing.
the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Who was-
He was dead.
So Orlando shot
Who's this guy?
across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Who was
They was drove on my side. I was popped them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
I'm not gonna go into details on that one. Keep it streets on me. I ain't gonna go into detail on that.
I'm going to go ahead and read from the book.
Well,
So
let them buy the
Jack
book.
York.
then.
okay. Well, I'm just going to read this passage. The shit was on. Tupac made an erratic move and began to reach down beneath his seat. It was the first and only time in my life that I could relate to the police command. Keep your hands where I could see them. Instead, Pac pulled out a strap, and that's when the fireworks started. One of my guys from the back seat grabbed the Glock and started busting back. The first shot skinned Suge in the head, and I thought that motherfucker was dead. I had heard some stories, supposedly that Suge used Tupac as a shield when the bullets started flying, but that's some bullshit. Suge was already wounded, and he was the one that got touched. As the rounds continued flying, I ducked down so I wouldn't get hit.
Basically, yeah.
White Cadillac, arm came out the back seat and started letting off.
What went through your head when you saw that?
They shoot my nigga.
So the bullets started flying. Tupac and Suge's car get all shot up. Was there, and I'd heard different versions of the story, but the one version I heard was that that their entourage started shooting back.
His breathing has changed.
Does anyone from the death row side return fire?
Yes.
Okay. Can you say who that was?
Yeah, he's no longer with us. His name was Buntry.
Buntry.
One of Suge's right-hand guy, our good
I
friend, Alton McDonald.
Eyebrows.
He chased the car down. He also received one gunshot to his vehicle. His car was shot. He had a black Toyota Supra.
He has a
And him
slow
and
bleed, which
another
is
guy,
good.
Returned shots at that car.
Yeah, they saying they left their guns at home. They started shooting back. Yeah, some chicks was in the sea breeze, started following a white sea breeze, right up sea breeze.
Why were the girls following you
Is
guys?
it a
I
Sebring?
don't know.
Okay.
That's crazy.
But I guess the window got shot out
Front windshield, yeah.
and they stopped following you at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
I've talked to a couple people that were there about the situation, and from what they told me was that, you guys came up, the car that you were in came up behind Tupac's car. You guys didn't, the cars were not facing each other.
No, they weren't facing each other.
They were not
Flinches.
facing each other.
Gutter lane,
You guys got up parallel to them, behind them. And, when you look
side
at
by side.
side by side.
So let's go see what else there was. Because I think that was part 2. This is part 1. Oh, sorry. This is the whole interview. My bad.
All right, here we go. think we have one of the most controversial figures
This is
in
a
hip hop
death
right
row.
now. Keefe D is in the building. How's everything?
All right. How's I'm controversial?
You're pretty controversial. You're pretty controversial. But let's go ahead and get into your whole story. So you grew up
Came
in
up
Compton.
behind and drove up
Yeah.
next to him.
And these days people have a certain perception of Compton being kind of a violent area, gang area. But when you grew up there, it was totally different.
When it first started out, yeah.
Okay, talk about that a little bit.
It was all white. All our neighbors was white. Moved out there in 1965. And yeah, most of our neighbors was white. Then the blacks started coming in like 1969, 70, 71, and started converting into black community.
Okay. And you actually dealt with some racism
Flinch.
as
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
One day me and my mom's was coming from the store, and some white dudes in a 57 Chevy came up.
Itching.
I was like 4 or 5 years old. He like called us a bunch of N-words, and I kind of felt scared, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember Martin Luther King had just passed away on then and all that. Yeah. So I was kind of scared, yeah.
Okay.
Literally.
And your dad was a Marine.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many total kids was there total?
12.
12 kids.
Yeah.
All the same parents?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And I guess you guys are related to Nat Turner.
Yes.
That's pretty crazy.
Uh,
For those that don't know, Nat Turner had one of the biggest slave revolts in history, where he killed off a bunch of the slave masters, and until they finally caught up to him.
Yeah.
So here you are living in Compton, and it's mostly white families.
Yes.
And at one point, you have something called white flight.
Yes.
So explain to me what exactly that is and how that happened in Compton.
Well, once the blacks started moving in,
White flight. That's a very interesting terminology that he's using.
the whites started moving out to different areas, to the suburbs, stuff like that. Riverside, Paris, all that type of areas and stuff like that.
Okay. And they were actually buying homes during that time.
Yes.
Okay. So you have this black community who has money, who have home ownership. At what point does it start to get,
Don't forget to smash
kinda
that
more
like
rough, though?
button.
I say like about 75, 76. 'Cause I had my first run in with some gang violence in like 75, 76.
Okay.
I was on my way from the Savon's drugstore down there on Long Beach Boulevard. We was on our way back. And once we passed Palmer, it was a liquor store called Drive Through Liquor.
Thank you,
right
Org.
there on Long Beach Boulevard. And it was a gang of Pyrus right there. Little George, Herman Jr., Willie T.
Again, if you're just coming in, please smash that like button. And also, we are reviewing some old tapes of Keefe D. And we're just watching body language at this point, seeing what he has to say and watching body language.
And ran into me.
Or not this
I
point,
ran
but
into
back
Willie
then.
T, and he socked me, took my little 10 speed, drove off, kind of kicked me in the chest. So yeah, that was my first really violent thing that happened to me. I was
Okay.
about 9 years old.
And what year did the gang start to form in Compton?
A year, like 70, 69, 70.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit before that time.
Yeah.
And what were the gangs that first started out in that area?
It was the Grandies and Boot Hill was the first two gangs in Compton. Then Spooktown and
I do not
Grandies
promote
became
gang
Nutty Block.
violence.
Yeah, it was the first gangs. We came along about 71,
This is all for
72.
educational purposes.
Okay. And were there actually Crips and Bloods originally, or did that come a little bit later?
That was later.
It was Crips and Bloods when in Compton, Crips and Bloods, and it was yeah.
Okay. And your particular gang, they weren't Crips in the beginning.
They was called US, Us Boys.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you guys became Crips later on.
Like 71, 72, yeah.
So why is that? Why'd you guys go from being the Us Boys to Southside Crips?
I didn't, I wasn't really old enough to really know about that. But yeah, I wasn't old enough to know about that. Back then I was into sports, baseball, football, stuff like that.
But
I
yet
was like
he
the
said
ball
that he
boy for
was
Compton College basketball team.
so that kind of
Right.
It was like #1 in the nation every year.
he
Sent
just
a
said
lot of dudes
two
to the
different things.
pros, UCLA and stuff like that. So I was most basically up into that type of stuff.
So at what point did you start to join a
Itching
gang?
you.
Really, I was in the gang when I was young. I live
That
in
was in
there. I lived
sports.
in the hood, so I claimed it, the hood, but I really got into the gang in like junior high school, like about the 6th, 7th grade. Yeah.
Okay, so
I
you
was like, yeah,
were
exactly.
what, about
Exactly.
13,
Or
14 years old?
About 12,
12 years old?
12 years old, yeah.
Okay. And what made you want to join a gang at that point?
What made me want to join the gang?
Yeah.
It was just
I don't know if back then you really had a choice. You had to be on one side or the other. But we'll see what he has to say.
we was all like a family. We stuck together, stuff like that. And I was from that neighborhood, so I might as well ride with that.
Okay.
Go that route.
So did you get jumped in?
No.
No. That wasn't happening.
I'm like original on the originals, yeah.
Okay. And was that Southside Crips at that point?
Exactly. Or
Yes.
he would have.
Southside Crip, Compton Crips, yeah.
Okay. And who was Southside beefing with at that time?
Mostly the East Side Bloods, like AMS, Ludus Sparks, and the mobs wasn't out there. So mostly the mob was still Ludus Spark. Yeah.
Okay. And what started happening in the beginning as you're joining 12, 13 years old? What type of missions were you going out on?
I wasn't going on no missions. I didn't do no missions, no.
But so what type of gang things were you doing during that time?
I was just representing my turf, you
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Was there fist
For what point? For what reason?
fights?
Fist fights, yeah. Wasn't really gunplay till I got a little older.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was no stabbings. There was
It
no.
was just fist fights, stuff like that. Compton Parade, the Crips would come from Compton High School, and at the end, the Compton Parade would start at Compton High and at the end at Ludus Park. So Compton High was known for like Crip High. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Ludus Park was known for the Pyrus over there. It was like Herman Jr., Marcus Nunn, bartender and stuff like that. Dude's name like that.
Okay. And you just mentioned this. You were a ball boy for Compton College.
Yes.
And that's when the drug dealing first started.
For
They
me?
are
Yeah.
org.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Can you explain that?
They are.
Well, the baseball coach, he's buying weed, from me, stuff like that. So one day I went up there, and he just he brought the ounce of weed from me for $60, and he pulled out his drawer, and he like, "Oh man, see what you can do with this." And from then on, shit, that's when I came in the drug game.
And that was cocaine.
Yeah, coke.
Okay.
It was costing like $3,500 an ounce.
And this is before crack?
This is before crack.
Okay.
It's doing quarter teas. Quarter teas it costs you $50. You just get
Stay true to yourself.
teaspoon things. Put it in the teaspoon, level it off, boom, put it in a snow seal.
Okay. So now you're in high school and you're starting to sell coke.
Yeah,
So now you have money coming in.
exactly.
And you're a Southside Crip as well.
Yes.
How does that start to escalate at that point?
I know. Me too, org.
Well, I caught a couple of cases. And these dudes that I caught a couple of drug cases.
So
he didn't realize that his bad behavior was taking him down a bad road. Like, come on. I caught a couple of cases. For real? He should have learned from the first one.
the drug dealing starts to build up.
Yes.
And you start getting busted.
Yeah.
And you end up getting 4 years when you were
He was
20.
too hungry for that money.
Okay. Was that the first time you went to prison?
Yes.
Okay.
The first time for I had did these guys that jumped me. I came out of the liquor store and they had hit the corner. So I was getting in my car.
Why is he
I
smiling?
had a white 68 Chevy back then. Getting in my car and they hit the corner. It was like 8 of them. Had bats, sticks, and all kinds of
You're
shit.
laughing at me, Org.
So some kind of way they got my door open. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? My passenger door. So they kind of fucked me up, gave me a concussion, broke my little jaw and stuff. So I went to my house. They didn't have AKs back then. They had 30-30s. I got my 30-30, 2 clips, and I put my 9mm in my back. So on my way, I hit the corner. The main dude that
Exactly. He thinks it makes him sound tough, but it doesn't. So he thinks violence is going to resolve violence. This is getting even. Oh, because he's on that white stuff, right? Can't get high on your own supply. You know why? Okay, so if you think about it, he's embellishing on himself and he's trying to make himself look better. And so that's why it brings a smile to his face. It's like that narcissistic side.
hit me in the head, I stopped at his house. He ran in the house. And I unloaded the clips in his house. Then I hit the corner. His brother was out there. So I jumped out the car with the gun. The dude was on the gate. He was like, he was like this, but it was too many witnesses, so I didn't chop him up. So I just hit him with the butt of the gun, and me and my homies rushed this motherfucking ass. And I went to the pen for that.
Oh, so it was actually over I guess, assault.
It was all they ran all the shit concurrent. My drug case and that case there too.
Okay, so at 20 years old, you're now going to the penitentiary
Yeah,
for the first time.
yeah. I went to DVI. It was called Tracy.
Okay.
It was like 3,700 inmates, and half the line was Crips. So it was really more Crip. That was like Crip capital of California back then, of the state prison. No bloods allowed whatsoever.
But there was also the Black Guerrilla family. Was there a faction of that there or not really?
They had like Latif. They had some generals up there, but they didn't really have no soldiers. So they was really, it was our yard. So yeah.
Okay.
And that's when the Crips started taking over the prison system.
Okay.
And the whole prison system was really ours.
Okay. And you said it was like gladiator school.
Yeah, Tracy was, yeah. About 13 people died within the 3-4 years I was there.
13 people.
About 13 people, yeah.
Okay. And
first day I hit the yard, Mexican fall on the knife. Bam! Like, damn, this shit is serious. Behind the wall shit. Yeah. They had a gun tower in the middle of the yard. They'd fire that thing off all the time. So yeah.
Okay.
Kind of dangerous.
Well, and I guess there are rapes going on as well.
Yeah, but I stayed away from that type of shit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Back then it was only like 8 prisons. And you had to really do something to go to prison. They just didn't take everybody to prison. Now there's like 40 prisons. They'll take anybody to fucking prison now. Yeah. And you had to really do something back then to go to prison.
So you get out 4 years later.
Yeah.
You're 24?
Yeah, 24, 25, yeah.
Now, for some people, prison makes them say, I'm not going to do anything more illegal. I'm done. But you went the exact opposite way.
Exactly. And you're supposed to like reinvent yourself while you're there, become a better person for society. Yet he does just the opposite. And they're just they were never anybody anyway. And they thought that violence was going to make them a bigger person or bring some massive ego. That's all it did. Was it stuck them in a smaller community to be a bigger person versus being in a larger community, being that smaller person?
No, it just made me smarter. That's all. Made me street smarter. It made me a little rougher. And made my thoughts a little bit better.
Okay. And by that time, was crack already out?
Yeah, crack was out. Yeah.
Okay.
Crack was out before I left.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you see different when crack hit Compton?
It really messed up our community. And because mothers was neglecting their kids, you know what I'm saying? Fathers wasn't, running off on spend their whole paycheck. It was really kind of fucked up our community. And, as I look back at it, I think I was a part of it. And, I asked the Lord to forgive me a few times for that.
I'd interviewed Freeway Ricky.
Small fish in a big pond.
He said that he sold crack to his own relatives. And, he's aware of the damage.
We didn't really know what the dope was going to do. I used to look at cocaine like I look at weed now.
Really?
Yeah.
But did you look at crack the way you look at weed? Really?
I had never saw a crackhead.
Okay.
It was a time that there wasn't a crackhead.
But after a year or two.
It takes longer than a year.
Really?
Yeah.
How long does someone go from smoking crack to becoming a crackhead?
And to think that these people are, they had such a massive influence on their community. And the younger ones were looking up to them. And they're handing this out like candy.
Well, it's a cardinal who it is. There's people that can
He has
function,
an itch.
that keep their job, that can say, you know what, I'm gonna smoke a $10 piece every day. I'm gonna smoke a $20 piece every other day. And then there's the ones who will say, you know what, I've been working on this job for 20 years. I'm tired of this damn job. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna be a dope dealer, smoker. And they just go all the way with it. So it varies on person to person. But I don't think that when it started that we knew that our people were going to get hooked on crack. Because I sold to my people. Sold to my girlfriend. I gave
They didn't think that they would get hooked on it. If you're just coming in now, there was some breaking news that Keith D was officially arrested, Clark County, Las Vegas, Nevada, for the murder of Tupac. We are going over some old interviews, and we're watching body language and watching how they were trying to cover all this stuff up. Oh, sure, there's blame to lay at the government, but their fault is just as much. Exactly. Giving it to kids, exactly. And they didn't think that this was going to, harm their community. No, they were too interested in that dollar.
my girlfriend, gave my uncles, my brothers. I used to give them all though.
So you did the same thing. You sold drugs to your own family members.
Absolutely.
Destroying his own family.
Okay. How many of them became addicts?
All of them, probably.
A lot of them did.
A lot of them.
See? Yeah.
But then I helped them get off.
Okay.
The ones who wanted to. Now I got an uncle, he's 70-something years old. He said he don't see no reason to quit smoking crack.
Were you doing stuff like that?
I wouldn't. No. Once I got out of prison, I didn't really have to touch the stuff no more. Yeah. I didn't really have to touch the stuff. I made myself smarter when ride around with it and nothing like that. I'll use other guys to do that.
All right. So
I know that other guy, Org, was like, he was like so cool with it. Like, yeah, I did. It's just absurd about how people and these are their own family members. Like, you would think these are your family members. You would want them to not get involved in that type of thing. But they knew, and this is their mentality. They knew if they did, they would get them to sell it. They'd make more money. I know it. I know it in the back of my mind. I know it in my heart.
It was really kind of hard.
We see it all too often. All too often.
For the local police to get me. You know what I'm saying? Where I wouldn't have to touch the stuff. So I thought about that shit the whole 4 years I was in jail. I had to put my plan together while I was in there. I just wasn't in there different ways doing this. I was thinking of a plan, master plan.
Right. I mean, a lot of times I hear prison is like criminal school or criminal college where you learn how to.
Well, I went to UCLA while I was in high school, you
Okay.
know, in the upper bound program, stayed there, you know, 9 weeks out of the year.
The gentleman that was just on org. Is that who you were saying was Freeway Ricky? The little thinner guy?
And, you know, it was, I really had book sense, street sense, and common sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I just put them all three together, and that's what made Keefy D, you know?
Okay. So you get out, and at one point you actually get a Colombian connect.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going around
Just remind me
buying
later. I can
3
pull him
birds
up
from this
after
person,
this.
5 birds from this person, and I happen to have one of my OG partners in the car with me. He like, man, you got to go to all them different places just to get fucking 15 keys. He like, man, I got a plug for you. I'm like, okay, cool. Then so he set up a dinner date with the dude. We get there, we pull up in my rag vet. We get there, my boy, we met him on right there in Lakewood at that Denny's on the 91 in Lakewood Boulevard right there. So we sitting there eating and stuff. Dude pull up in a Plymouth Acclaim, tripped me the fuck out. He had on glasses and everything, looked like a square, young too, you know. So we ate and stuff. He like, ooh. So he said, he ain't got nothing right now. He gonna get back with me later. So me and my boy pulled off. Like, damn, he don't even look like he got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that mother bad motherfucker. So I went on out of town. When I got back, I went and copped some more shit. It just so happened I see the food on Long Beach Boulevard. It was on from that day on.
Okay. And I guess the first time you did business with your Colombian guy, he gave you 148 kilos on consignment.
Oh man, he like also like I was gonna bring him like 200,000-300,000. He like man, keep your money. You don't need the money. So shit, we went in a 1-bedroom apartment. Hit that motherfucking we went in the kitchen. Motherfucker opened up all the cabinets. The whole shit was full of birds. I'm like, damn. First time I ever seen that many birds. And we boxed them up in the U-Haul boxes and left up out of there. And he charged me 11,000 for each one. So bam, I was on after that.
Okay. And I guess you add all that together, you're looking at like $2.5 million.
Man, balling.
Cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you start distributing all that. All that started getting rocked up and distributed. And
no,
oh, so you were just selling the kilos
Yeah,
wholesale?
selling keys, yeah, the way they were.
Okay, because
So they were part of the major, they were the plug, I guess, as they would say today. They were the plug.
All the town.
That was just faster. To just
different states and everything. Yeah, once you get on that level, you ain't got to do that rocking up shit. No.
Okay, well, because Freeway Ricky, he had a massive operation, but he had actual crack houses, and he was moving like 500,000 crack rocks a day. Like it was like some crazy amount.
Welcome in,
You were
Matt
moving
Lingo.
100 kilos a day. You had a dozen crack houses that were making 40,000 in profit a day.
A day.
And you had a network of dealers that were moving 500,000 crack rocks a day.
Now, mind you, I knew nothing about this guy. So remember when I said the more people that in his family alone that he could sell it to, he could get them to sell, et cetera, et cetera. Exactly what he did. I had no idea who this was until Org mentioned it. It was an area that I never wanted to get to know, which is like putting blinders on, you know, but it does so much damage to communities, families, destruction of your life. It's horrible.
When you look at these types of numbers and this is all, you've laid all this out in your book. It is a staggering amount of drugs. I mean, 500,000 rocks a day. Like, when you look at that right now, how do you even come to grips with it?
I don't know. It's like, you know, that was just something I stumbled up on. You know, it was only when I really got in
Okay,
prison that I
Orgy.
really understood
I'll see you when you
the
get back. Get the
magnitude.
puppy dog kisses
He's
for
in
me.
LA. We from Compton. We do it a little different.
Okay.
We use the street level dudes to do that type of shit.
Did you guys ever cross paths?
So now, if you go back to that freeway Ricky guy, do you notice his body language? He's straight spitting truth. Where this one, you know, he's trying to hide little bits and pieces. He's not being completely upfront and completely honest. He's being shady.
That's you
No,
on the
I
freeway?
never crossed paths with him. One of my partners went to jail with him on that case down there in San Diego. Yeah, that's when I crossed paths with him.
Okay. Well, there was also the PCP.
Yeah.
And you described cooking PCP as one of those ancient hood secrets.
No, I wouldn't call it that. We ain't letting nobody in that game. You know, the city of Compton and Watts, they ain't letting people in that game.
Okay. Because I guess with PCP, if you don't know what you're doing, you like blow up your whole house.
Yeah, you can kill. Yeah, you can fuck yourself up.
Okay. And PCP,
And that is one illicit substance that will make you feel like Superman, from what I understand. So Org says, yes, Inky Freeway Ricky just tells the truth. He doesn't need to make his story any more interesting. This guy is a loser. Exactly. He was just, you could tell by his body language. He was just being dead honest. Dead honest. It's craziness.
I mean, cocaine and crack is a hard drug, but PCP is on a whole different level.
Yeah.
You know, we've interviewed people that have, like, one guy cut off his own penis and, like, you know, like crazy shit.
I was high as a motherfucking man with no sleep and shit, and just frustrated because, you know, I couldn't talk to my babies and shit like that. And I had like, I'm paying like 3 child support payments when I'm not seeing none of my kids and shit.
Right.
And I really thought for that moment in time that I'm really hurting myself, just, you know, not having a vasectomy or whatnot, you know, or that. And,
Okay.
Sounds
and it was just
delicious,
like,
Matt.
I was gonna give myself one, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean?
That's the
And-
reason.
Yeah, and I blasted off high.
So
You know what I'm
you-
saying? I was
you
watching
grabbed-
Family Guy.
Okay.
Watching Family Guy, and what's the other shit? Family Guy, and American Dad. So I
Okay.
was like in the cartoon world. So when you smoke that wet PCP, you be like, you know, it shit is like
You're in the cartoon?
You're in the electronic world. You're in the electron, neutron world. The shit is
Okay.
just not, you know, what happens in the subatomic world is
I know,
different
me
what happens
too,
in,
Art.
in this
Okay.
reality.
So you were in a
see what I'm
fantasy
saying?
world.
Not necessarily fantasy world, I wouldn't even say.
Well, you were
I
in a
was just in a
different- you were
world.
different world.
I was in a subatomic world. Let's
You were
say
in a
that.
subatomic world, and you grabbed a knife.
I don't know what I grabbed. Whatever nigga told you what I grabbed might be queer because I don't know what I grabbed. It's like I would have turned my head at that point. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to my niggas. I ain't say nobody's queer because I don't know what they said, but somebody said I was grabbed a knife, I cut my shit, then I
Right,
went back
steak
and I
knife.
sliced and I did some you know, some Ginzu shit. It's like, nah, I don't know. No.
You don't
know?
remember it, but
I remember I made a flooper. I made a slice that was too, put away the knife or what I grabbed, but that was too sharp. It was too sharp because what I did, my shit was like, she was like, that shit was too sharp. It was, I don't want to say it was too sharp. I was too fucked up. To be honestly, I grabbed some type of knife. I must have grabbed some type of knife, a steak knife. You know what I'm saying? And niggas who see me grab a steak knife, they justify it because I would looked at my ass too if I would want to grab the knife as high as I was. Tell you the truth, make sure my life was not in jeopardy. So I recant that statement, but I did grab the knife.
Really,
It was
Matt?
like,
You grabbed
out of
the knife.
frustration.
Your power went out? Our power went out an hour ago during the press conference. Couldn't figure out why. I just heard the medevac helicopter. Good thing we got a generator now. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. So, I played the press conference in the very, very beginning of this, and I was just watching body language, which triggered me into, off on this tangent of just watching how they're moving and how they're explaining things. And man, that guy's story is it's mainly watching his Keith's body language and how his mannerisms are, how he's moving around in his seat when he's talking about it. And you can totally tell, okay, Orgy, sounds good. You can totally tell like when he's lying or he's trying to like misconstrue what really happened.
Well, because the people downtown took his ass down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he got busted eventually.
Yeah, he got busted.
Okay, and that was your main plug.
Yeah, that was the main plug.
Okay, let's just rewind for a second. You're not moving all this stuff in Compton.
No.
You're starting to go interstate.
Yeah.
You know, when Ice Cube made the song.
Yeah, he was snitching.
He was snitching.
Rappers always snitching.
My Summer Vacation.
Yeah, all that. St. Louis niggas take.
Let's see. I wish there was like a let's see. No, it doesn't. I was hoping it had like, where who talks about what section. I don't know what that's called. Like chapters, I guess.
It was his, but I don't believe that.
Yeah, I wish he would have told them dudes downtown that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was just a low-level cop. He wouldn't know fucking what's going on. Evidently, I was doing a hell of a job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the people downtown, the big boys, like the FBI, they knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
At one point, Compton becomes a hip-hop mecca.
Yeah.
Starting with Eazy-E.
Exactly. Back in like 82, about 81, 82, we used to cook at his
Let's have a
mama's house.
small intermission.
Easy's house.
Yeah, cook up the big shit. This is before I went to the prison. Used to cook up, and he used to be in the back room playing that shit. I was like, man, that's some bullshit. I swear to God. I used to tell you, man, that shit is garbage. So once I went to the pen, I had been hearing the music all the time because they didn't have they only had 3 TV stations up there. So you didn't see no videos or nothing like that. I had been walking with my cassette tape, listening to this, cruising down the street in my 64.
Yeah.
So one of the homies came up there and said, man, what the hell Eric Wright doing? I said, man, you ain't heard that song, Cruising Down the Street in my 64? Like, that's Eazy-E. I said, man, you got to be.
The crazy thing about this is he knew.
Well, Eazy-E was a Kelly Park Crip.
Yeah.
Was Southside and Kelly Park cool?
Yeah, the whole Alondra is really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole Alondra is all Crips.
Okay. How big of a drug dealer was Eazy?
Before I went, he was just selling like 4.5, 8
Does
balls.
he really want to spit this
4.5
info out?
and stuff like that.
So he never got to kilos or anything?
No, he never got the kilos.
Okay.
He had
If he did, he's not going to tell on him because he knows he ain't going to make it.
Basically, you sell drugs to be successful to get up out that shit.
Yeah.
And to get out the gang and all that shit, so you can provide for your family.
Well,
the kids these days are doing this
That
shit.
is their philosophy. That's what they think will happen, but that never
Chris
happened.
Breezy, what's that other dude name? What's that dude? Soldier Boy. All them dudes doing that shit backwards. They wait to get $1 million to get in the game.
Right.
And I feel Suge did the same thing too.
Yeah.
He waited to got rich to get in the game.
Yeah.
That was stupid as fuck. I'm quite sure my boy wouldn't have even got with him if he knowed he was going to do that shit backwards like that, because he was a college student.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about all that.
Yeah.
So,
As he said, like in today's thinking, they're doing things back-asswards. They shouldn't be doing it at all. I swear it makes them think that it's the ego. Like Org said, the ego. You guess it was a car wreck, a buggy. a buggy wreck. Well, Matt. I'm glad that you have generator. I hope everyone is okay. Work said.
When Boys in the Hood came out, and I remember I was living in the Bay,
Yeah,
it was like the biggest shit ever
yeah,
because it was so different and the production was so crazy
yeah.
with Dr. Dre and
Yeah.
Ice Cube writing the rhymes.
All
it
that,
was
yeah.
just, it all came together like a perfect storm.
Exactly.
And I had never even heard of
It just
Compton.
escalated the
For real?
situation
Yeah,
to
because I was
what
living
it.
in the Bay.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't going to, I'd never been to LA. So Compton wasn't this national city, you know,
Yeah.
known worldwide how it is now. So he's yelling Compton and everything else like that. And it just put Compton on the hip hop map.
Yeah. Well, before then, though, Compton had a lot of athletes, a lot of baseball players like Lonnie Smith, Reggie Smith, what's the other dude? Kenny Landreau.
Mhm.
You know, Compton had a lot of athletes, football players, basketball players. Dennis Johnson lived on my street, played for the Boston Celtics. He grew up on my block. Yeah.
Okay. NWA blows the fuck up.
Yeah.
But then after the first album, Ice Cube leaves.
Yeah.
Then the second album comes out. And then Dr. Dre wants to leave.
Yeah.
And that's when Suge Knight starts to come in.
Exactly.
Because he's friends. You know, I've interviewed DOC.
Yeah.
And he talked about the whole story, how him and Suge was cool and him and, you know, DOC and Dre were cool. So now they come up with an idea. I think originally it was called Future Shock Records.
Yeah.
And now
I
they
don't know
want
if you
to.
noticed, but his breathing is slowed down when he's comparatively speaking to when he was talking about Tupac. Like the way his chest moves, like he was like super nervous. And this is in the beginning of the interview. So he's much more calm right now when he's just talking about other things than Tupac. And then his heart starts racing and he starts fidgeting more.
Basically take Dr. Dre and Michelle A into this new record company.
When Dre and I decided to do this label, it was called Future Shock. That's what Dre wanted to call it.
Future Shock
Future
Records.
Shock. Yeah, or some
Okay.
Future Shock Entertainment, something.
Okay. In the process of trying to get Death Row going, you, Dre, and Michelle A were still under contract at Ruthless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you had actually known Suge Knight as a kid.
Yeah. We played football. His daddy, he's the original Suge.
So he's known
Suge
him for-
one.
Mhm.
And then he had a uncle named T, Chili. And I wound up in the federal prison with one of them.
Okay.
Up out there in Safford, Arizona.
Well, once you start hitting 12, 13, 14 years old and you start getting involved in gangs, from what I understand, Suge was not.
No, Suge one. No, he played football with us. He was a good kid. Daddy and him had some money, trucking companies, Benzos, fucking nice vans and all that shit. Nice ass vans. That's when the black community was into them vans and stuff.
Mhm.
Suge, Daddy and them, they had money. We used to, after the football game, we used to go over to the house, go swimming, eat hot dogs and chips, punch and shit like that.
And we went in there. Suge said, I need to get at Jerry and them to get Michelle and them contracts.
Okay. So this is Ruthless Records office.
This is Ruthless. Yeah, they office.
Okay. And Jerry Heller was there?
Jerry Heller was there.
Okay. So it was an old Jewish man.
Yeah. I mean, the movie was just straight booty because it didn't happen like that. We went in there, the security guard was standing right there like, as if to hold us up on going in there. Man, you better get the fuck out the way. Dude bagged up.
Oh, so you guys pulled out guns on security?
I had a little bitty ass 25. I'm incriminating myself on this goddamn thing, but I had it.
And this is what happens. Get so excited about telling a story, and then they're telling on themselves.
I had a little pistol.
Okay.
And Jerry can't testify now. Didn't he pass away?
He passed away.
Okay, so he can't testify. So this cat, he know who he is, got out the way when he seen this little 25. He moved. Suge went there. I closed the door.
Hi,
Okay, Suge to deal
Arkansas.
with Jerry. Handle your business.
Matt says this moron wrote the book about the drive. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. But in hindsight, the benefit is there has been an arrest, an official indictment. Now we can have closure. Welcome in, Dr. I don't know how to pronounce that. Please, Lord, please, Lord, help us have our closure. This is one death I was never able to move over. Exactly. I was in tears earlier when I was watching the press conference. It was so hard. So right now, for those of you that are just coming in, what we're doing is we're just watching body language, mainly on Keith. So, it's just kind of getting some background on it. But we're like watching his body language and how he starts fidgeting when he gets into talking about the situation.
So you're not even in the room.
No,
So, but Jerry's in the room with this big Suge Knight guy.
just them two. Suge got a check out of him, and he got Dre's shit. He got their contracts out of Jerry's cabinet or whatever the case would be. Easy, he couldn't get.
Okay, because I had heard stories that Jerry Heller was put in a trunk or something else. None of that happened.
No, hell no. We walked out of there, and he was sitting at his desk where Suge left him. Walked out of there. Suge, I don't think Suge had to put his hands on him or nothing. He was that scared.
Yeah.
So Easy never got beat up. or
No,
anything,
no,
so-
no. Hell no. He would have came to us. We didn't let that happen to him.
Okay.
No.
Were you still cool with Easy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Real cool with him.
Yeah. Well, he was like the hero of Compton. I'm sure everyone loved Easy.
Yeah. He was my little partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of love. Yeah.
Okay. So you're not thinking about the music industry at all at this point.
No.
You're
Let's see what he
but
says
you're
here.
still not involved in any sort of music industry shit at all.
at
You're
all.
you're making money, you're living
No,
your life.
yeah.
But then you met Eric Von Zip Martin, who was close friends with Puffy.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, I met Puffy before Zip.
Okay.
He had called up our hydraulic place and asked to use a lowrider.
Okay.
That's when Usher first did his first video. Can I get with you? So I went up to took my lowrider up there and shit. This was Usher's first video. Puff was driving the car and stuff like that. That's when I met Puffy originally.
Good.
Then
He ended up messing up the car.
yeah. Then, Usher dancing all on the hood and stuff. So he had to repaint the whole car.
Right. And
With a
Puffy paid for that.
Yeah, it was a candy paint, so he paid like $4,400 to get it repainted. Because you got to paint the whole car. Yeah, so then a few months later, he had gave a party at the El Rey. We was with Zip that night, and Zip was with Dana Dane. Dana Dane had pulled up in this old ass legend. I like, damn, he's starving. Dana Dane and the dude Green Eyes from Houdini. He
Welcome back,
was in the
Keely.
Green Range Rover. So we went all up there to the VIP and stuff like that. Then I met Puff that night. And Busta Rhymes acting all drunk and stuff. We was all in our Brioni and fly Versace suits and shit. This motherfucker acting drunk, spilled his little shit all on me. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. Like, damn, this, acting like a little kid or stupid. You know how he act. You know what I'm saying? He put a lot on the shit, And us Compton brothers is more laid back, smooth dudes, Yeah.
Okay. So you meet Puffy, you guys do the thing for the Usher video.
Yeah.
But you guys don't really have a relationship then.
No.
But then you met Eric Von Zip Martin.
Von Zip, yeah. Me and them, yeah.
Best friends.
Talking about Wolfie, Wolf, the incident.
Yeah, they say that Wolf was the one who
Yeah.
killed him, who was Puffy's guy.
Yeah.
Wolf.
I know, Kaylee. I had to go find these. I was like, I need to check out all of these interviews, and I'm watching his body language, and it's completely different than it was earlier in the other video, and he caught a lot of heat for it. a lot of people are squealing, you know, but it is what it is.
Wolf is dead now as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And that set off a bunch of friction as well
Yeah.
between Suge and Puffy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kaylee wants
Well,
to
then
dance on some tables.
Tupac gets out and he starts going crazy on Bad Boy. He drops Hit 'Em Up,
Yeah.
where he just,
Exactly.
you know,
Hammering.
hammers everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
I felt the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he like, and whoever fuck with y'all. Like, damn, is he talking about me? Us?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about that for a second. Before Hit 'Em Up, was Puffy approaching y'all for security and protection?
No, he had had a West Coast. He had a West Coast tour coming up.
Okay.
San Diego, San Jose, you know, the little areas, Anaheim, LA, stuff like that, Vegas.
Yeah.
So he called when I'm in Zip. I don't know whether they had set this up or not, but Zipper came pick me up. We rolling up Greenleaf in our neighborhood, and his phone ring, boom, and it was Puff. And he like, you think it's cool to come out here and do concerts? I'm like, why it wouldn't be cool? So he like, the big CEO dude. So
Suge.
yeah. I like,
Territory.
damn. What's going on with y'all? He like, man, shit, you think this is cool? I like, shit, just let me know the dates and give me some tickets. We have
Yeah.
a Crips
or
there.
don't, please.
But I see he was trying to play us against each other. Crip.
I wouldn't want anything to happen to you guys. So, gosh, I hope you guys have each other's personal information so you guys can talk.
Bloods, you know what I'm saying? Crip, Sugar Blood, we the Crips. So I guess that was his protection thing going.
Okay, so he just gave you guys some tickets
I was saying like
to
he
a
was
show.
they were
Yeah.
protecting their
Tickets.
little
you
area.
can't
Like,
let
But this how scared he was. He even had some Navy SEALs in the next room.
Yeah.
Like, damn, you just fucking scared of this dude? You know, like, damn. Yeah.
How does that relationship start to escalate between you and Puffy in terms of, you guys actually offering some level of protection?
No, it wasn't no protection. It was just some of his friends was my friends. And yeah, basically it was protection, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess he played it smarter. Dude with the red, I get the blue.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
There was a situation.
let's get past this
I
stuff.
think it was the Soul Train Awards. Well, before you.
Oh, I always say it was Keepy D. Keepy D was definitely there. Big Gene corrects me and say it was a dude named Cutter or Gutter or something like
C
that.
Gutter?
C Gutter.
That's
Puffy's
that's
or
Biggie's
Biggie's
cousin,
or something.
who's a Crip actually.
Okay.
I never pulled no gun. I wasn't even there with him. I was in the VIP player. You know what I'm saying? If I pull a gun, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Okay.
So I didn't pull no gun on nobody. That's a lie.
Okay.
And they didn't see me there or nothing.
All right. Well, someone pulled out a gun, and then Reggie pulled out his gun, and it was a standoff. So you're pointing the gun at Biggie's crew, and Tupac is trying to grab the gun from you.
Yeah, that's Pac. Pac was about it. I mean, we can try to take it away. He's a, lack of a better word, instigator. I mean, get wild. I mean, yeah.
Nah, I wasn't there. I was at the awards, but I wasn't with them. They was backstage and stuff. I was
Okay,
in the VIP.
I'm not saying you were there, but this is starting to happen now.
He's getting uncomfortable. He's getting uncomfortable. He's shifting. He's moving his center of gravity.
Boy and Death Row are now running into each other, and it's potentially getting violent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then Hit 'Em Up comes out.
Yeah.
And then that escalates it even further.
Exactly.
Okay. Now you would actually run into Tupac a few times.
Yeah. Back when he was with Digital Underground.
Oh, way back then. Okay.
I was at the Greek Theater. We was all at the Greek Theater, about maybe like 10 of us. We was over there smoking weed and stuff. He came over in a diaper. Something about that shit was funny as well. He asked to hit our joint. Well, we just bought tickets from y'all. We should be hitting y'all joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we kind of clowned him that day. Then the next time I ran into him, it was at the House of Blues. He was with EDI or the Duty, and he was already out there on our street on the gate. I'm like, damn. When I see the but Ice Cube shit was, I thought it was retarded.
Dollar amount. But I think that, you know, the nuances of this conversation are that, like, man, I'll give you $1 million, whatever it takes. You know, it's like exaggerated speech. But of course, when we interview Keefe D, he's like, yeah, that's the agreement amount was $1 million.
So according to Keefe, he's claiming that Puffy offered him $1 million to kill Suge or Tupac.
Both
or
of
both.
them. Yeah, both their names came up.
Were there,
Wow.
you know, before the whole Vegas incident?
That's what I figured.
Hit 'Em Up comes out, which, you know, to this day is considered the greatest diss song ever.
No, I like
It
the
breaks my heart.
No Vaseline.
like
Even
No
though
Vaseline?
even though my little partner that Easy that what's the name was talking about. Yeah, that was fucked up. Matter of fact, one day I was coming up in my 64, busting that No Vaseline, and he was already out there on our street on the gate. I'm like, damn. When I see the but Ice Cube shit was, I thought it was retarded.
Okay.
But he was more in depth with his though.
It was more personal, I think.
Yeah, he was like,
I fucked your bitch.
yeah, all that. He was with the juggler.
Yeah.
At the end, I told you I felt that motherfucker like, damn, is he talking about us too?
Okay.
So they were bitter.
So at that point,
So he's trying to say like he's basically saying that they were bitter, this Keefe guy, because Pac came out. He was like, this is how it is.
Puffy is feeling the heat.
I know. I
from
was crying
Death
earlier,
Row
Mike.
even more musically.
Yeah.
There was conversations about $1 million bounty on Suge,
Yeah.
but we're not going to say who it's from.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Rumors.
There was rumors of this whole thing.
Keefe D claims that there is this
I don't know if you caught
ongoing
this
conversation.
part earlier, Michael, but they finally arrested Keefe D. He has been indicted for the murder of Tupac. Exactly. Again, this goes all the way back to that ego-based narcissism. So you have to remember, as Org and I were talking earlier, you know, the reason they even got into the whole gang thing was because they would be a bigger fish in a smaller pond. They didn't like the idea that all of a sudden they were becoming a smaller fish in the big pond, and Pac was coming up. He was becoming a big fish.
It happens on 3 different occasions. But
My
most
heart breaks for
specifically
you,
when
Mike.
he and Puffy are at this place called Greenblatt's Deli on Sunset. And they're there. Things have spiraled out of control. Puffy's really concerned about, you know, the welfare is his safety. And he tells Keefe D, man, I just need you to take care of this situation with Suge and Tupac. It's out of control. You know,
Your family,
Suge's
if something
I'm
happens to
sorry,
your family's
Tupac's
always
on
alone.
vinyl talking about
That
killing
thing
all of
never
our
goes
kids when
away.
they grow up. And, you know, it's just, it's just
Yes,
become
he did.
this really
I played that earlier.
serious conflict. And he says, I just need you to take care of him.
He knew it.
He's like,
He
that's
knew
no
it was
problem.
coming.
That's what we do. And so an agreement was made, according to Keefe D, for an amount of money. And they kind of just let it go at that point in time. But of course, Keefe D knows in the back of his mind, this is what Puffy wants done. And they all end up out in Las Vegas. Suge's out there.
Well, before you say that, there's a couple things I want to talk about for Vegas.
Shifting.
So when you say that Keefe got offered an amount of money, according to him, was there a dollar amount?
Yeah, so there was a dollar amount. But I think that, you know, the nuances of this conversation are that, like, man, I'll give you $1 million, whatever it takes. You know, it's like exaggerated speech. But of course, when we interview Keefe D, he's like, yeah, that's the agreement amount was $1 million.
So according to Keefe, he's claiming that Puffy offered him $1 million to kill Suge or Tupac.
Both
or
of them.
both.
Yeah, both their names came up.
Were there,
Insanity.
you know, before the whole Vegas incident, were there any more run-ins that you guys were involved in that Puffy or Death Row was mixed up in, or not really?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
Okay. I've heard that Puffy started hanging out in Compton.
Never,
Never.
never. People just they lying. Closest
He
came to
said it in
Compton
numerous
was,
songs,
the
Michael.
day that celebrity basketball game. I think Biggie got killed that night.
Okay.
He went to Cal State Dominguez
Okay.
play a celebrity basketball game.
That was later on.
That was later on.
Yeah. Well, Biggie got killed later on.
That was the night Biggie got killed. That was the closest he came to Compton.
Okay, got it.
That was yeah.
So let's talk about Orlando for a second. Orlando's your nephew.
Yeah.
He's
I
12
really
years.
don't want to talk about my nephew. I want to talk about me. And
Okay.
What happened with me.
All right, but I just want to establish Orlando is your nephew, and you guys were very close.
Yes.
Okay. And
Why doesn't
from
he
what I
want to talk
understand-
about Orlando? Why does he only want to talk about himself? That's a pretty arrogant statement.
Orlando was a thorough guy. He had a reputation for this, for being with the shit.
No, he was a good person. Very good person, good heart, everything. He was really a kid when that shit happened, homie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shortly before the Vegas incident, Trayvon Lane gets jumped at the Lakewood Mall.
He really initiated.
Michael, if Orlando did it, then why was he just booked earlier today? It's crazy.
That whole thing.
Really?
It was him and two other guys. I think his name was Kevin Woods and some other dude.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the other dude's mom is from our neighborhood. Her name is what's her name?
Hands are blocking.
Her last name Stamps. I don't know if Vanessa Stamps. Her son was up there with him. I don't know why he turned blood, I guess, but his mama and all his uncles from our neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay. So a fight happens at the Lakewood Mall, and they try to take Trayvon's death row chain.
One of my little homeboys, he was a football player getting ready to go to college. He was at the Lakewood Mall at the World Foot Locker. He was up there waiting, you know what I'm saying, by himself. And Worry and dude Don King, they pulled up in them Azura Bentleys. So that shit looked like some Hot Wheels. So all the bitches went from the Rolls Royces over there to them Hot Wheels.
Right.
The pretty ass that was Bentley Auroras back then. Pretty motherfuckers looked like Hot Wheels. Yeah, so I had ran into him the day before.
Okay. Well,
Because
but Orlando was involved in that particular situation. Was that Lakewood Mall situation?
Exactly.
So then when they ran into each other at the MGM, Trayvon Lane tells everyone there, hey, that's one of the guys that was involved in that fight.
Yeah. Evidently,
Exactly.
they because let me see how I can put this. Yeah, he did say that. He did say that. I heard he said that. They go, the guy took my change. Well, Lane, Nando didn't take his change. What Lane gonna do with a $300 change? You know what I'm saying? We gonna have a change, and we gonna have $5,000-$6,000 change on, like Suge gonna have on.
I
You know
got
what I'm
you,
saying?
Kaylee. I know. I do
we wasn't the
typos all
help.
the time.
We was bosses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want no fucking they change, somebody else change. What we gonna do with somebody else change?
6'2". I was running the club at the time.
Right.
Reggie Wright was there, but I was doing the door and all of that.
Right. And your brother Buntry was there as well.
Buntry was at the fight.
Yeah.
He went to the fight with him. We already knew it was finna happen. That they was coming to Vegas, the whole nine. And then when they came, they pulled up in front of 662. I alerted a bunch of them and told them that Keith D and them out here, the South Sides is out here. And they drove off.
Did you see him?
No, I never seen him. We didn't see nobody.
Okay.
So we left about 40 minutes later. We left about 40 minutes later,
Okay.
went got some drink.
Right. You went to the liquor barn?
He just lied. Watch his left shoulder right here. Watch this flinch.
One of my homies from out there live out. We had some homies lived out there.
Okay.
That was kind of in the game, and they like they put to have a concert at the 662 Club. So we
Right.
went up there.
Which was Shook's club.
Yeah, we went up there.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
So you guys went over there, but there was a bunch of cops and everything in front. Oh, there wasn't.
No, I wasn't. No, we was there for about 30, 40 minutes in the back parking lot.
Okay, but you never went in.
And I seen where Mob James said he seen us in the back parking lot. That tripped me out.
Were you in Vegas? Yeah, you
Yeah,
were
I
in
ran
Vegas.
662. I was running the club at the time.
Right.
Reggie Wright was there, but I was doing the door.
What is this, Kay? I'll have to get my other device. What's that link for? Is that another interview?
Door and all of that.
Right, and your brother Buntry was there as well.
Buntry was at the fight.
Yeah.
He went
Either get out
in
of
the
line.
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside their
Jumping
car?
in. I seen a bullet going Suge head. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot
Was it Curry?
across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side. I would pop them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
I'm not gonna go into details on that one. Keep the streets on me. I ain't gonna go into detail on that.
I'm gonna go ahead and read from the book.
They'll off him.
Well,
So
let them buy the book then.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to read this passage. The shit was on. Tupac made an erratic move and began to reach down beneath his seat. It was the first and only time in my life that I could relate to the police command. Keep your hands where I could see them. Instead, Pac pulled out a strap, and that's when the fireworks started. One of my guys from the back seat grabbed the Glock and started busting back. The first shot skinned Suge in the head, and I thought that motherfucker was dead. I had
Don't
heard some
forget to
stories
smash that like
supposing
button.
that Suge used Tupac as a shield when the bullets started flying, but that's some bullshit. Suge was already wounded, and he was the one that got touched. As the rounds continued flying, I ducked down so I wouldn't get hit.
Basically, yeah.
White Cadillac, arm came out the back seat.
Okay, I can see him. I was looking him up.
What went through your head when you saw that?
They shoot my nigga.
So the bullets started flying.
Now we watched
Tupac,
this part
Tupac
earlier.
and
so
Suge's
I'm gonna
car
skip
get
over this.
all shot up. Was there, and I'd heard different versions of the story, but the one version I heard,
10 days, we had 3 people murdered and I want to say 11 shootings, between Southside Crips and the Mob Piru and Looters Park.
Okay, so just a full blown war.
Full blown war.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a semi-war. It wasn't like that, but yeah.
It wasn't. You wouldn't consider that a war?
Yeah, some people lost their life. Yeah.
How many people got killed in the next month or so?
We lost one person.
That's
They
it.
lost like 4.
Okay.
Like Bobby Finch, he was like moonlighting, doing that. He was police for Compton Unified School District. Yeah, he was a police for Compton Unified School District, so he knew Little Reggie and Big Reggie and Reynolds and them already. Then after that, it seemed like the feds came down and started raiding everybody else. The night of the raid, this dude that do the grease trucks, we got a dude, he owned Crown Prince Grease. His little brother came and knocked on my door and said, there's a bus load sitting in the parking lot. A bus, the sheriff bus sitting in the parking lot in the neighborhood by the donut shop. Like you pushing a whole lot of police. So about 5 minutes before they came, I got the fuck up out of there just in time.
Well, in the book, you mentioned that you had a couple of white boy neighbors.
Yeah.
And you sent one of them dressed up in a UPS outfit to Suge's studio.
He ain't gonna talk.
Yeah.
And I guess if Suge had opened the door, they would have killed
It's
Suge.
terrible.
I ain't gonna go into the details.
I knew he
you
wasn't
trying
gonna
to get me waxed.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're gonna
What's
get
in the
waxed.
book?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let
You
him
know what I'm
read
saying?
it.
Like
Let
I'm
him
not,
read
I'm
it.
not, I'm not just making this stuff up.
Yeah.
I'm not fishing here. Like, you know, it's right here in the book that
The interviewer's only going off of what was in the book, and he's just reiterating it. And now this guy's in denial. He knows he shouldn't have wrote that book. Now it's too late. Like, what was he expecting? What was he high when he wrote this book? Like, he didn't think people were going to read it, and it ever come back to him? That's what he's thinking right now. Why he's in the clink.
is in the link. You know, if you click below, you could order this book and see
That's
everything
right.
in detail.
Yeah.
Right.
If I keep on telling the whole story, they ain't got to buy the book.
Okay. But it's now
I
getting
can't believe he thought he was going to get
getting
away with it.
serious.
Yeah.
And I guess Orlando, he got out the way as well, right? I mean, he wasn't just hanging out on his front steps waiting for someone to come shoot him.
No. We weren't hanging in Compton. No. There was the guys from the Crip Compton police came, told us like Blue, Bugman, and Eric Peridon. He came to mirror. He came like they ain't with that bullshit. And y'all stay up out of Compton, home. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. During that time, did Baby Lane ever get shot or anything? I know that he ended up getting killed 2 years later, but before then, was there ever a shooting or anything of that sort?
Oh, I said we ain't gonna go into.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
fair enough. So, in the book, you said the third day after getting back from Vegas, you guys met up with Zip in
Yeah.
L.A.
At Wingstop.
At Wingstop.
Yeah. Not
Exactly.
Wingstop, but Hot Wings. LA Hot Wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess you said that Puffy called and said, "Was that us?" And you didn't
Yeah.
say nothing.
I didn't say nothing.
I know. Isn't that pathetic, Kaylee?
There's also, you go
Guy
into
has
the
been
book
living it up.
that apparently there was supposed to be $1 million that Zip was supposed to bring back, but he ended up keeping the money and buying a nightclub with it.
That's what the FBI said.
The FBI said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys never got any money
Never.
for anything.
Nothing. Not even a pair of Sean John drawers. You know what I'm saying?
Lies.
That's crazy. It seemed like Puff do that though.
Welcome in. Get to know.
He seemed like every time some bad shit go around here, it look like it's some shit on the grass. Don't step around that shit. You get away from that bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do a quick intermission, and we will finish this. I will save where I'm at. Let's just bring some love and peace. Sexy beast. Thank you all. I appreciate you all being here. I do have an appointment, but we will be back for part 2. Kaylee, please let me know if you are going live, and I will wait till after you're done to start part 2. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I will be back.